Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look now at some of the stocks on the move today in Europe. I'm Lizzie Burden alongside Caroline Hepker, and we're joined by Bloomberg reporter Chloe Melly. Chloe, let's start with shares in Vestas, the Danish wind developer, of course. They're surging after it announced this €150 million buyback.
The resilient third quarter numbers were also quite well received. So that is really reassuring investors that the turnaround at that company is working and starting to pay off. Part of the strategy was to raise prices and only supply turbines to the most profitable projects, and that seems to have been working quite well for them. The industry as a whole, that overall wind industry, is still dealing with quite a lot of setbacks, of course, with in setbacks in the US in particular, and then supply chain disruption more generally. The CEO did say that the current environment was still creating unprecedented challenges, but that update from Vestas and then another update that we got from Ørsted today reassured investors generally that that kind of sector is getting a little bit brighter. Ørsted shares also rose today after it kept its guidance, so that helped to boost confidence that the worst is over for Ørsted after it had to raise $9 billion, if we remember, back in August and September from shareholders. So the US market is still very much going to have to be left to the side for those wind companies because of how much Trump hates wind turbines, but turning attention back to Europe might actually work out quite well for them.
Okay, in terms of Trump policies, tariffs, Siemens Healthineers, the German medical technology company, has also raised the alarms around that.
Yeah, so it expects tariff impact to double to €400 million in its fiscal year 2026. So the medical tech sector that Siemens Healthineers is part of is particularly exposed to those tariffs, to those trade tensions. We had Philips yesterday, which has appeared to Siemens Healthineers, projecting as much as €200 million of tariff impact this year as well. We're still awaiting for more details. So the US launched a probe in September into imports of medical devices, and that might lead to fresh tariffs, but it's kind of unclear at this point whether that would stack on top of the 15% rate that was agreed between the US and the EU. So in the meantime, that's creating a lot of uncertainty for those companies like Siemens Healthineers, and the shares did take quite a beating this morning after projecting that tariff impact.
And Chloe, Novo Nordisk's cut its forecast for a fourth time this year. They've cited lower sales in its blockbuster weight loss drugs, Wegovy and Ozempic. The shares have been all over the place this morning. Just tell us more.
Yeah, the shares fell and then paired those lost and then down again. It seems that investors are trying to digest what is good and what is bad from those updates this morning. So on the negative side, we have got those falling sales of Wegovy and Ozempic and continued competition from Eli Lilly. That has led Novo to cut its guidance for the fourth time, as you mentioned. Those profit warnings throughout the year and also shakeups in management have dragged down the shares quite a lot throughout the entire year. But then on the positive side, it looks like the new CEO is keen to turn things around and has been making progress there. We recently had news of quite big layoffs as part of efforts to cut costs. And crucially now, we've also got this $10 billion offer for Metsera, the obesity startup, and Novo trying to outbid Pfizer. And the CEO said this morning that he was quite bullish about its chances of winning Metsera, saying on a press call that he was confident there were no antitrust issues there. So that could have contributed to those shares maybe getting that boost.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.